Hey guys, in this video I am checking out a very powerful, in fact the most powerful light that I've ever tried. Now I am recording this video with my a6500 instead of my a6400, which I've been using for the last 6 or 7 videos, and I have to say it feels a little bit like a downgrade. So let me know if you guys think that the quality of this video is slightly worse or better or the same. I am using the Sigma 30, so the autofocus might be a little bit worse on this camera as well. Anyway, this is what I am checking out today. A huge carrying case. This was sent to me by Nicefoto, and this is a very powerful, very big light. So let's check out what comes in this carrying case. Nicefoto logo on the front zipper with a handle. It is a heavy carrying bag. So let's open this thing up. All right, inside there is a whole bunch of fun stuff. So you get a user manual, power cable, extension to the power cable, some other cable also, my guess is for power, an AC adapter, huge. You can see that there are some fans here, and then you can wrap this around a light stand. Power box. Looks like these are for mounting batteries on either side, and then you can see you have outs. CN516, and this can control multiple lights. So if you bought a set of these, you can control all of them with this remote. Last but not least is the light itself. Filters. So this is kind of a warm yellow filter, and it looks like there's a clear one on the light itself. This thing is huge and quite heavy. So around the back you have some controls. You have on-off switch, channel. You have the intensity, or how much light you want outputted here with a knob, and then your DC in. Around the side, you just see a whole bunch of vents to cool this thing down. The underside is completely vented throughout. So it's definitely built with cooling in mind. And then around the front, let's see, it's some styrofoam. Looks like mine was slightly damaged in shipping. You can see that that's not a perfect circle, but that should be fine because this is just a reflector that you can remove, and you can purchase new ones if you wanted to. Let you guys see the star of the show, which is this giant LED bulb. So that is what you are paying for with this giant light. So again, very heavy. Let me set this up on a light stand to give you guys a better view, and then I'm excited to turn this on. All right, and here is the light set up on my light stand and plugged into the wall, so it is ready to go. And what's nice about this is that the cables, first of all, are very long. So you can see that the cable's running around the floor, around this couch, and it's being plugged into the wall, and there's still plenty of slack. It goes into this power supply here, which has a nice little bracket so that you can lock it onto your light stand right there. So it basically just goes wherever your light stand goes. You can turn it on here. From the AC adapter, you have another cable that goes all the way to the back of the light, and that is what powers the light. So I can turn on the power switch here. So here is another look at that back screen. You can see it's nicely backlit. The power increments are in 10% intervals, so it goes up by 10%, 20, 30, and so on and so forth. You do have to click it several times. It's not just one notch at a time that increases it. You can see the color temperature is 5600K, and then the channel for the wireless controller is there. There's not much in the form of complexity here. It's really an on-off switch and an intensity knob. You don't really have to mess around with much else. Now, I don't know if my microphone is going to pick this up, but just from that short demonstration of the intensity on this light, you can hear the fans kicking in. So there are fans down here with the power supply, and then there are some fans up here as well. They are not overly loud, but you can hear them. So I'm gonna stay silent for a second just so that you guys can see what it sounds like. This is 2 feet away from the light. And let's take a look at the front again. Now what's nice about this light is it has what's called the Bowen Mount for mounting all of your accessories such as diffusers, reflectors, all of that fun stuff. And it's relatively simple to operate. So you push that tab back and then you just rotate counterclockwise. And then if you want to pop it back on, you just insert it, and then rotate it slightly clockwise, and you're good to go. And if you really want to look at the detail, you can look through those vents and you can see it's kind of like a computer heat sink that is included inside. It runs along the entire length of the body of this light, and it is pushing air up from here. So it's blowing up from the bottom. If you're going to be using it right next to your microphone, that's not ideal, but this light is so powerful that it's probably going to be used 10 feet, 20 feet away from you in most situations anyway. And in those situations, you are not going to notice that fan noise or the fan noise from the AC adapter at all. All right, so let's see what this light can do by showing you guys some nighttime comparisons. Here we go. All right, so this is at about 10 p.m. at night, f1.4 on the Sigma 30mm. The shutter speed is 1/25, which is pretty slow. And then the ISO is cranked to 3200. Now this is what you see with no lights whatsoever. And what I'm going to do is turn this light on to 10%. You can clearly see how much brighter this backyard is. In fact, we're blowing out the camera shot. Now there's some trees in the background. Those are about 100 yards from here, 100 meters or so. Now let's see what happens if I tilt up and I increase the brightness a little bit. So let's go up to 20. There is 30. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Those trees way far out there are lit up quite nicely. And the beam on this single LED is very wide. It is a Cobb LED with a beam of 120 degrees. All right, so here is an example of a low light indoor shot. Camera settings on this one are f1.4, 1/40 shutter speed, and ISO is 250. So this is definitely a low light situation, not ideal lighting. Let's say, for example, you are shooting a movie and you want to create basically your own sunlight. You can do that. And this is with a diffuser. Now you can move this light around and you can raise the sunlight, and effectively you are making daylight. Like, this looks pretty close to a daylight scene. It is very bright. If you stare at it even for a split second, it will blind you. So it is a nice and natural looking sunlight alternative if you are trying to film daytime scenes at night. So the moral of the story is this light is very, very bright. In fact, I decided to try out comparing it to the headlights on my wife's Lexus SUV, which are very, very bright. And here is the result. This Nicefoto was in fact quite a bit brighter than even both of her headlights, even with the high beams on. So there is a lot of power coming out of this Cobb LED, and I have to say that overall using this light was very simple and very easy. It wasn't overly complicated. We didn't have to adjust any colors. The included accessories worked great. I used the diffuser. This light really primarily competes with the Aputure 300D, which I have not tested. This thing pushes out, like I mentioned, 33,000 lumens. Which is brighter than the Aputure. Practically speaking, who is this light for? Where would you use it? Well, I think for a small room, it is way too powerful. Even at 10% brightness, this thing blows out the majority of your shots. If you have a large room, however, I've seen folks use this light kind of like a projector with a huge diffuser. So you could set up a bed sheet, for example, set this light about 10 feet behind it, and then just shine through the bed sheet, and it creates essentially a wall of nice, soft, diffuse light. But the most practical way really to use this light is on a movie set. So if you're doing short films, if you are recording movies, if you're doing more professional video work, and you need something that is going to be portable, that you can rely on with battery power, that it runs relatively quietly and is simple, easy to use, and most importantly, very, very bright. This is definitely a light that you should check out. Let me know what you guys think of this super duper bright thing. What practical application would you have for something like this? Always curious to read your comments. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all of your likes, comments, and support. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.